And I decided, since I had to do laundry, and that's such a weird lighting situation too. Let's see if we wipe that off and do some of that. Not going to help much. But I figured I would fold some laundry and do an Ask Me Anything. Well, I did it. And I wanted to reflect a little bit on that Sparse document that we talked about earlier today. So, for those that don't know, this Sparse document was kind of another one of these pseudo simulations where they talk about virus responses, etc. But what was really interesting to me is that I was watching Whitney Webb on Tim Dillon's latest podcast. And Whitney was basically describing her situation with Patreon. And in the Sparse document, they talk about this imaginary social network that aggregates content, right? And they talk about this person called Epigirl as a blogger or whatever, or an internet personality, or a social influencer, whatever the kids are calling it these days. And they basically go through how this person is able to aggregate actual information through publicly available articles and make a dossier that is much more convincing to the public. And they make it extremely clear in this thing that they're talking about misinformation or doubt. Now, Whitney, when she asked why she was being taken off Patreon, they didn't point to anything she had posted on Patreon. In fact, they had to go to her own site, right? And then they pointed to articles that other people had written and one that she had written, but they couldn't point to anything specifically she had written in these articles that was quote-unquote misinformation, medical misinformation or incorrect. Well, this gets to the point where it's like you're just putting doubt in people's minds by being an aggregate of all the factual information that's made publicly available. You get it? You see what I'm saying? Do you understand what point we're at? So it just, makes you think, how far will this go? What is next to come? We all know that there's going to be a lot going on in the next year or so via not only open censorship, but division amongst societies in this country. And what do I mean societies in this country? They want to make it into a conservative, liberal thing. I don't know, John. It's not the most popular thing on YouTube because it's Easter Sunday and we're not going through an actual document. We're just taking some some talks while I'm doing this. But anyway, it's important because they also talk about the fragmentation of society while at the same time trying to talk about how the black community and the Muslim community and the anti-quote-unquote boop community will forge together to make their influence greater. And of course, we just recently discussed how Farrakhan was kind of being retargeted as a supremacist, right? And we know that he's pretty much anti-boop. They actually referenced the Tuskegee thing, but the big thing is that they acknowledge that these vaccines in Sparse are going to hurt people, and specifically with neurological disorders to children. I mean, think about that for a second. They're talking about a novel coronavirus in this thing, okay? The aggregate difference is that instead of just going after the elderly, it's going after children as well, right? So you have a high child mortality rate. For that extra level of fear, you have a society that's already very, very divided, which the media continues to push again and again and again. And they know that they're going to have a skeptical black populace. I'm probably going to be doing a Rockfin exclusive video on last night's Saturday Night Live sketch, okay, where they did like this Jeopardy-like anti-vaxx thing with just a panel of black people. It's not even funny. It's just trying to push propaganda. Hey, Asians made it into the race war Olympics. Nice equality. So bizarre that now they're acting like there's been these waves of, crimes against Asians. I got news for you. Yeah, there's crimes against Asians, and there has been for a long time. It's not a wave, depending on your locality. And it's not like just random people are committing these crimes. These people have records. Like the first one in New York City, I'm going to say it again. There's a thing called crazy. There's always going to be crazy. Always going to be crazy. Okay? And we first have to acknowledge that. Then we have to acknowledge, well, how do we have a system where a guy who stabs his mother to death is out in the streets? I mean, come on. Like stabs his mother to death. He's out in the streets. And quite frankly, we're kind of just lucky he didn't kill her. And now you have catch and release in New York. They're pushing it into other states. They're not acknowledging the vast damage that they've done to these states with the rise in crime, with the rise in lockdowns, with the evisceration of a middle class. And remember, when you read that Sparse document, again, they're working with privatized companies. It's the CDC in league with the FDA, right? In league with the WHO. What do they praise? The WHO, the UN Global Society, that's the best model. And that this one in particular, this Sparse pandemic, is caused by what? Climate change. Climate change. And the return of, zoomatic viruses? What are they trying to sell you on this thing? Oh, it's from a bat or a pangolin. Let's see. What did the sheetrock behind you? Who did? I'm in a basement. So this is like my I live on the second level, which is like a reinforced basement. So we're talking about bricks on this side and that, but this is just kind of like, this is the back laundry room. And it's like a little storage area for me as well. And I got a little storage area there for some stuff I want to put into my other office. And then there's the other office, the one that I usually broadcast from. And then right around the corner is a bathroom, and then my living area, and then I'll have the bedroom. Small but humble. Change. Luke's the best way to throw change at anyone. Legendary Polish pennies. You know what I'm going to do? Although Jan Blachowicz is talking about that legendary Polish power, I did find some archives of some really old prisonplanet.tv stuff. So I think that what we're going to do is we're also going to start posting once a day, maybe even, or at least once a week for premium members, old school broadcasts. And I think those ones are actually commercial free. So they end up being, instead of like the 3-hour broadcast I was doing, 2 hours plus commercial free. Old school. We're talking 2009, I believe, late March. So now these things, let's see, they'd be 12 years old now. So broadcasts from 12 years old, you get to, I guess, measure the things I was talking about then. I think in the very first one we're going to put out, I have Luke Rudowski on, and some of the early ones I also have Max Kaiser on, talking Bitcoin all the way back in 2009. Weird and wild stuff. If only you'd listen there. Have you caught the clips in Grand Theft World of the German podcast about Gavi? Do not believe I have. Someone saying something about the out Nazis and the Canadian priest. Just shared that. Do you understand English? Out the Nazis. Yes, it was awesome. They put 2 beams in my head for years and left a scar on my forehead. I don't know what that means. Max is a suspect globalist, but he was right about Bitcoin. Well, I mean, listen, I don't necessarily think that like Bitcoin's anti-government or that like Satoshi Nakamoto is, some good entity, or that it wasn't some type of intelligence or financial motive to put that together, whether that be like the National Security Agency or some other type of agency. Just saying. Let's see. Liberals put the Asian non-white thing into the lexicon. Sorry. Yeah. Now they play on it. Yeah, it's pretty wild. I know that I didn't put any Japanese Americans in camps. And at the same time, they're gearing you up for like this pseudo World War III physical battle when we're really in World War III right now, guys. This is it. They've already militarily taken over much of the Middle East, of Eurasia. They've dominated the minds of the masses globally. They've made America into docile, like shadows of their former selves and values. They've gaslit the public on a tremendous level. Right now, I mean, they've militarized DC. All these things are happening. All these things are real. And now you can be totally 100% correct, and you go against their narrative, and you're causing doubt in their narrative with your facts. No. How many years, in your point of view, will it take the NWO to be fully established worldwide? I hope it never does. I hope that we defeat it. I have no estimation of that. Well said, Jason. Couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah. Thank you. Thumbs it up, subscribe, and share, by the way, guys. It's just kind of like a fun video I figured I'd do as I folded some laundry. It won't be as long as the old ones that were like an hour long, because I do like a ton of laundry every month or two. Now I just do this whenever. Are you in the basement because the Chinese are after our freedoms, Jason? No, I'm in the basement because when I went and searched for homes, and this one and many of them in this area in Iowa in particular are reinforced into the ground with like these finished basements that are also double as apartments because of the wind here. Ukraine is back. Biden should have said, yeah, that's crazy, and I need to do something on that. But I need to well-verse myself into it more. But it's not looking good with the Ukraine, Russia, military on the borders, hot warfare, destabilization in that area, and no one's really talking about it in this country either. It's not even on the agenda. But yeah, the war machine is back, baby. You better believe it. Let's see. Boop boop passports worldwide or just in the U.S. Haven't seen much indication in Australia. They want it globally, obviously. But right now, what they're settling for is the most corrupt of the corrupt, the biggest minions of the predator class, putting it in their epicenters that they've already overtaken, like New York and California. Okay? That's the big thing right now. Pointing that out. Let's see what else we got, guys. Hunter has no idea, for reals, no idea. Let's see. Sorry for the nihilistic point of view, but history keeps repeating, and we are in a totalitarian times where everybody is chasing their own interests. Yeah, well, I've discussed that. Do you use Persil or Daz for your laundry? I don't think I use either. I don't know what that means. Don't say thingamabob. That'll get a ban. Thingamaboop. Thingamabop. Boopity boop. Tide is the best. Sometimes Tide. I think this is actually like Arm & Hammer baking soda brand that I've been using here. But I'll use whatever. I seem like a Tide guy, do I? I'm a brand man. Let's see. But yeah, no, listen, you should read the document for yourself. A lot of people get on me lately because I haven't done a lot of deep dives. But that document, for some reason, caught me. I also, last night, late night, for some reason, Uncle George Bromley, basically the guy behind the rituals that you see at Bohemian Grove, and an odd fellow, a Mason, I forget what other, he was part of another secret society on top of Bohemian Grove. He's got a book out there. What is it? The Long Ago. It's not, and the Far Away, by the way. It's The Long Ago and something else. It's all about his life. And he gets around page like 70-something or 80. And he starts talking about the Grove, etc. And I got a hard copy off of Amazon. But that book is also available in PDF format for anybody to read. In fact, a lot of the Grove Annals that I have, if you search hard enough, you can also find those in PDF files. Not all of them. Definitely not all of them. But it just goes to show that, anybody can be doing this type of research. And, that the Bromley stuff, that's more historical for me. That's, more to ponder, how we got here from the ancient roots of even like the early 1800s. Because, Bromley, man, when did Bromley die? I think Bromley died he was 92, early 1900s. Okay? So it's just it's a full another time period and another look into how things were done and technology. For instance, one of the things that I found really interesting is that he was talking about earlier in his life when he was a child that shoes, for instance, didn't have a left or right foot. And they were basically the same on both sides, and you would just switch them in your feet every day so they wouldn't get worn in. I found that to be interesting. See some hogwash while I fold jeans with Jason Burmis with poor lighting, kind of this like gray look. You know what else I might post? There's a promo interview with me and Alex Jones right before I put out Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, where we do like a 15-minute interview with short cuts and excerpts from the film. A much younger Jones and a much younger Jason Burmis as well. Let's see. We add naphtha or NAFTA. Is that what we're talking? Notice the same videos that were previously banned are coming back on, especially about beer bug. I don't know what that means. I don't know what these beer bug things are talking about. Beer bug. Funny enough, I'm folding laundry when I'm listening. Bed sheets and towels. Thanks, man. You got a thought, Drifter. Do you reckon chafing is a COVID symptom? I don't know that chafing is a COVID symptom. Do you think crypto has the power to dethrone the Fed? No, I think that crypto is part of the plan. I think crypto, as far as a short-term investment, right now is doing very well. I think certain crypto projects are going to succeed. I think certain ones are going to fail. I don't think that Bitcoin necessarily will be the end-all, be-all of all of it. I don't think right now with as much that is invested in Ethereum that Ethereum can totally fail, and therefore all the other coins can't fail either. So I think crypto has the power to empower people like you and me to navigate this thing if we make the right moves short term via different crypto assets. And again, I'm not telling people to buy anything or do anything. I'm just saying right now it's exploding in some places in the market. I don't see Bitcoin going anywhere. I think it's going to be adopted. I think blockchain technology is not as randomized as people think when they think decentralized. It's not the true term of it. So on that note, I think we're going to wrap it up because I think I just finished this all up, at least for now. I just put another load in the wash, but that's it. Thumbs the video up, subscribe, and share. Rockfin.com. In fact, go watch the Tim Dillon interview with Whitney Webb. She talks about Rockfin a few times. She's on Rockfin. If you're a premium subscriber, you're going to get these throwback episodes that I'm going to start to put up today. You understand? I'm going to put up throwback podcasts. So they're not even going to be video at all. They're just going to be podcasts. Something a little different for you guys. I know people have been asking for that. So then I'm not sure if you can download them from Rockfin or not as a podcast. But we're going to do that. And we're going to do the Alex Jones preview for Invisible Empire for premium members. So make the free account because that's where we're uncensored. Okay? And then if you are a premium member, you're going to get some extra bonuses, including everybody's extra bonuses because that's how they roll on Rockfin. I love you guys. Thanks for joining me while I folded laundry and talked some schnaz-paz. See you on the flip side.